Woohoo, here we go, Kath. Our very inaugural first introduction. This is a weekly chat about what's what. Kath is a finance broker that specializes in helping people gain financial security through property. And Tricia is a financial coach and has a mission of family connectedness, creating peace and harmony around the dinner table instead of stress and anxiety due to money worries. Kath and Tricia have been friends for many years. They know how to chat and have opinions on a broad range of topics. It'll always come back to family, property, home, gardens, Tricia, not Kath, sport, Kath, not Tricia, money, entrepreneurial adventures, and so much more. Welcome, Kath.
Welcome.
Do you want to enlarge on that a little bit more, what you do?
Yeah, look, the idea of us is just to get out there into the world. We've always been a bit nervous about getting in front of a camera, or I have been. So the idea is to sort of reach out, get on top of our fears and move forward. And
I think the thing is that we have got so much to offer. We've got so much that people could learn from, and whether you're at the beginning of your financial journey trying to buy a house, or you're investing, or you're trying to get your money together or get out of debt, we've been there and that, haven't we?
yeah, we've got those life, what do you call it? The life
Skills, not
and
that we're old.
yeah, definitely not old. So far from old. Young at heart. Young at heart.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So
Yeah.
what this podcast is about, whether it's on YouTube or you listen to us, we will settle into a flow,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Look,
when we come up with a name.
yeah. We're still thinking of a name. We're working on that. Once we get that together, that will be all updated as well. But we're both mothers, and we've both got a very nurturing nature. And I think in that respect, as much as we are parents, we've been through that journey of having kids and things like that. We still have that nurturing nature where we want to educate and help, and we both thrive on that. So let's get into it. And if you can expand a little bit more on your financial coaching and how that works. Obviously, it's totally different to being a mortgage broker, whereby you're assisting people with money matters. So I'll just expand a little bit on that. And, that's basically going to give people a bit of an insight into what we're about.
Yeah, so if I can go back a couple of steps, I am also a mortgage broker, but I specialize now in financial coaching. I do manage and maintain the clients that I've got, and Kath in this regard will be looking at all our broking clients. But why I got into management, or not, but I got into money management because being a broker, I have a very heart-centered space, and I would gather people that had credit card debt, and they'd have 50 grand's worth of credit card debt, 10 grand, whatever it might have been. But I would refinance the mortgage and consolidate that credit card debt, all the personal loans, all the car loans. There was a variety of different things. And I would get them in a better position, and I'd say to them, okay, so this debt that we've consolidated into your mortgage shouldn't really be there. We would calculate how much that, let's say it was 50 grand. How quickly can you pay it off? We'd calculate how quickly they could pay it off. And it was either, I'd given them an option of 3, 5, 7 years, whatever it might be. It would be a personal loan within the mortgage. And instead of being at 20%, it was at 3% or whatever the rate was that we were going to. So I walked away and thought, that job is done. They'll clear that debt. They'll pay the extra onto the mortgage, and that won't be there for 30 years. What I found occurred, though, is that 2 years later, they'd come back and say, oh, I've got credit card debt again, or, you know, something happened. Somebody lost a job, somebody was unwell, and, you know, all these life events happen, as we know.
Yeah.
Life events happen.
Yeah, it gets in the way, and you haven't really changed that mindset of capturing your finances, getting on top of them. You fall
Correct.
into the same trap without any education. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's it. I was dealing with the money, which I now know it's figures. It's 20% of what goes on. The rest of it, the 80%,
Mm.
is in the headspace. And that's where I then started looking for what was going on with these clients. Why was it an issue? And what could have I done differently? And to be fair, I wasn't trained. It wasn't my position to be saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. I wasn't my space then. And in the end, I went searching for a program or a way to help people. And look, I've had my own money story too, you know, my money journey that I've had to do. So in the end, I've become a money coach. Because I don't want it just to stop as soon as I walk out the door as a broker and
Yeah,
say, my job is done. You
yeah,
know, I need as a heart-centered person to actually help people with the whole picture. And that's a holistic approach. So
yeah.
yeah, that sort of, and you know what it's like, you know, bringing up kids and they finally go to secondary school and you think we're cruising, we've only got, you know, 6 years to go. And they join the sports clubs and they need braces and they need all these sorts of other expenses that if you don't plan for, you're going, hang on, that's not something that I was thinking of, you know?
And as a money coach, that's what you're allowing for as well. So basically, you're premeditating, or not
Yeah,
premeditating, but you're allowing for the expenses that technically, when they come up at the back of your mind, then you know they're coming up, but you haven't planned for the money to be there, basically.
correct. Yeah. And what I work with now is one, yes, getting people through their debt that they may have. People may not have debt, but they may be living paycheck to paycheck and have no savings.
Mm.
So when you know, the fridge breaks down, there's nothing to rely on or nothing to fall back on, and they rely on credit cards. And that's okay if you pay it off or if that's all you've got. But my mission is to actually change that. And so when people actually look at what they've got coming up in the next 10 years, and yes, we also plan for a new fridge and for car tires and for a new battery, all those things that do occur, we often say, oh, I didn't realize that was going to break down, or, you know, we didn't realize I was going to need tires. Well, you know, yes, if you put it in a plan, it does actually happen quite consistently.
And
But
rather,
because it happens every 3 years, you
yeah,
think it's not a consistent sort
and
of
rather the
thing.
brain going, why does it happen now? Everything's going wrong. Why now? This is just too hard. It's all too much.
Exactly.
So when that drama happens, you're ready for it, you know.
Yeah. And
And
it's just about planning. Yeah.
yeah, so rather than someone else being in control of your finances, you're back in control of your finances. You're overseeing exactly what's going in and out of your account, and you're monitoring that. And you have the readiness there of not just living day to day
Mm.
anymore. And I must admit, you know, as you know, we're probably in the older generation now, but I would like to think years ago, if I had that forethought, it would be brilliant, you know,
Right.
and would save so many headaches and nightmares, conversations, arguments, goodness knows what else about where you're going to find that little dollar from to be able to pay for certain things and get by. That's for
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the point of it, that
sure.
everything is planned for.
Mm,
And it just, I know from when I was in debt, it just takes so much brain bandwidth. It's
mm,
ridiculous. You're always worrying and always stressed, and and all those things. We didn't have arguments in the house about money. That wasn't the case. But there's a very high percentage of divorces that occur through financial stress.
Yeah.
And my mission is that if I can help people get out of that and not be arguing and finding themselves again because they've got financial ease and keeping a family unit together because you want to be together, then how good is that? And it's so much cheaper than divorce.
True.
Isn't
it? and, and as you said, a part of that is then also too, if people are on the other side and they are divorced, you're helping to rebuild their finances and getting them back on track, and you're going to cope with not having that extra buffer of the partner's income and stuff like that. So
correct,
about reigniting their lives in a positive way. So
and if I can touch on that bit, like I've had a couple of clients who were nearly separated, and one of them got into terrible debt because she finally had money of her own, finally had, I can do what I like. I can, well, not do what I like, but I can, spend money. Don't have to answer to anybody, and all that sort of stuff. So it did get overwhelming and it got really stressful for her. So when she came to me about it, it was very much, let's just start fresh. There's absolutely no guilt, no shame, nothing, no judgment, and we just got her back on an even keel. And eventually she managed to be able to open the letterbox, because before that she was absolutely petrified of what she was going to find in the letterbox. So they do go through this emotional thing where they finally get a space of their own, but sometimes it doesn't help with other things because the mindset is still there, what they've come out of and the freedom they now have.
And capturing your finances and getting on top of them and organizing them in a proper manner allows you to then have a more wholesome type life.
Absolutely. And then the freedom that you've been wanting.
Yes, definitely.
Because you've got everything in order. Anyway, there you go. That's enough about me for the moment. Yeah. Now, as a broker, and you do specialize in financial security through property, and you like your investment space and your self-managed super funds, you've had investment properties, you know a lot about that. What can you bring to the table on that?
I feel so I'm very much a nuts and bolts type person, whereby I love deep diving into what the situation.
You like the numbers.
What was that?
You like your numbers.
Yes, I do like my numbers, and I'm very passionate about my numbers, and I love getting in to have a look and see what I can do to help, right? So the idea is, obviously, it's not always just about the rate, about getting them into a lower rate. It's about what the product offers. And obviously we have access, as you know, to over 45 lenders, but it is about basically finding the right product for them and capturing what they need, whether they may need some cash out to help to get on top of those finances, whether they're looking to get cash out to secure another property, basically whether they're looking to purchase something, and helping them along that journey. Obviously, I take pride in what I do. I'm very responsive in dealing with people, and I love simplifying the process to them. And the idea is a hassle-free experience then. As we know, there's a lot of documentation that you need to hand over. So the idea is you do get to know the client very intimately in some respects, and they like, know, and trust you. And that's what I'm about. And as I said, that all comes back to our, in many respects, the type of people that we are, but as part of being a mother, that's that nurturing quality that we've both got, that we want to help. And, if I can't, I love getting to be able to get through the process, and give them a plan of attack moving forward, especially when you have some new buyers coming to you. You know, they're not quite in a position to be able to purchase, but what do they need to do to get there? And like
Yeah.
what you said, some of them might be they need to pay down a few credit cards. They need to pay off one credit card and close it. You know, it's not just about paying
And
them.
closing it. That's the important thing too.
Closing it, you know, it's almost like this little card that you just can't seem to let go, and you're like, I've got to cut it up, or I've got to send off a notification to say goodbye. It's like a love affair. It's like,
absolutely. You know,
that $10,000 limit, I might need it for something else in the future one day, but it's about letting go, you know, and
it's
that mindset. So,
and it's that strategy of what you might need to do to get that to happen, that family home that you want or whatever else. And it's being aware that it's a moment in time that you have to live without a credit card.
Yes,
definitely. You know, if that's what it is, because once you get into the house and you may, you know, pay down some debt and things like that, you've got a family home, and your credit whole position changes once you get a home, doesn't it? Like if you've got a car, if you want a car loan and you've got a home, you get a better rate than if you're renting or if you're living at home.
And as you know, over the last 12 months, you know, people that have gotten into a home, you know, initially their repayments might have been around $2,000 a month. And, you know, that was more than feasible for them, easily meet the debt, still had a good lifestyle to go along with it. Now those people that are paying that $2,000 a month are well paying $3,500 a month on that same mortgage. So, you know, they're finding it tighter. So it's working out, what are their options for giving them a bit more financial freedom back? And whether that's trying to refinance them or they make the decisions that they downsize or whatever. Obviously, I'm not a financial expert, but it's helping them to work through those processes to see, I give them the figures to be able to determine what works for them. So, but I think we've talked enough for today. The idea is a bit of an intro to go through everything that we do, what we're about. Moving forward, we're going to have some different discussions each week. We'll have a few topics to talk about. And if there's anything anyone wants to know, throw it out there, throw it in the comments box, and we'll try to address it as quickly.
Absolutely. Put in some comments and questions, and we will follow up and have a discussion and see where we go.
Okay, that's
awesome, brilliant, Kath. Thank you.
You take care. Thank you.
You too. Hang on, let me find the button.
We're going to stop now.